sure my family would say otherwise. But it's great to be back here in the Sheboygan Tea Party, where the crowd's always great, always enthusiastic. You guys were ready to take our country back last year. We took our country back, and you kept us in control. Thank you to all of you for being here. Who would have thought that this movement would keep going? A band of, I got a list here from the pundits: racist, toothless, farmers with pitchforks, uneducated, that's not going to last, terrorists, Americans are sick of politics, but you guys are all here, you're all ready to go. 2 years later, you're still cheering, you're still ready to go, we're fired up, we're going to keep Scott Walker in office, we're going to kick Barack Obama out of office, and we're going to put more Republicans in the legislature. We're ready to go. We're not sick, we're not going to shut up. Who's going to shut up? Keep going. Keep the movement alive, and that's why we're here today. Today, let's talk about our successes, where we need to go, what we want to be, and how we get there. Along the way, I'll throw in some stuff from the colleges and universities, because I hear you're dejected at all the liberal stuff that comes out of there. Our successes. We have voter ID. We've got concealed carry. And we've got a balanced budget as required by our Constitution. And my guess is many of you are going to see flat or reduced property taxes. I'm not sure, but that's the goal. The Dems and the lefties are still complaining, however, because they don't get it. They want to attack us for what we believe in. You know, when we hear these, we got to attack them what they believe in. You got to ask them, is there a budget deficit? And they're going to say, well, but we lowered, when we were in the legislature, general purpose revenue spending. We got to remember, there's 4 things to the state budget. You've got general purpose revenue, you've got federal spending that they took more of, they took more bonding, and they raided segregated funds. So they raised the budget $3 billion, we get $5 billion, and we get a $3 billion budget deficit. And they say that voter ID disenfranchises. In fact, a Dem legislator said to me, well, it's not going to work even if you pass it because there's so many fake IDs. And I said to him, just go get one of those $5 flashlights that show the watermark to make sure it's a good ID. If you keep attacking them on their positions, that's where we're going to promote ideas. We're going to get the right ideas out. And we're going to defend our governor effectively. We can't get angry. We can't call them names as much as you want to. You've just got to take it one point at a time. Let me just give you an example. We were signing up new people for the college Republicans and college conservatives on Thursday, and I'm proud to announce we signed over 175 new people up. I think we doubled the college Democrats. And I think it's one of the best sign-ups we've ever had. But a leftist walked up to me and he says, Scott Walker's ruining the state of Wisconsin. And I said, I don't think so. Why do you think so? He said, he stopped collective bargaining for all manufacturing unions. No, you clapped, some of you clapped too soon. He stopped collective bargaining for manufacturing unions. Did he do that? No, he stopped it for public unions. He stopped the entitlements of our taxpayers, or taxpayer dollars going to these fat pensions, and he's making them pay more. How many of you pay for 401ks? Right? How many of you pay for health care? Right? How many of you pay more than 12% for your health care? How many of you pay more than 6% for your 401k? Is this ridiculous? This isn't ridiculous. And if when you say to them, point out the points, go point by point down, they go, oh, I guess you realize. And then he said, wasn't the governor recalled in the assembly when he introduced right to work? I said, absolutely not. Where did you get that from? I said, he did introduce right to work, but he did say publicly, now's not the right time, maybe in the future. So he walked away going, oh, I guess somebody really knows what's going on. I think so. I'm way ahead on my speech. I don't even know where I am right now. Let's talk about some CR success. What did you say? What did you say? Well, all I have is chicken scratch, so I don't even know what page. They're not even pages aren't even numbered. But
you're doing great. Keep going.
Who cares? Let's keep going. The CRs are having success. We have over 500 people at Michelle Malkin last spring. Not a single protester because they didn't have enough force to do it. And by the way, we never protested for Michelle Malkin, but the college Democrats tried to protest the governor. They had like 4 people or something like that. It was ridiculous. You walk by, go, what are those people standing around checking their iPhones for? Like, what is that? And then the Tribune goes protesting the governor, and I'm like, what is this? Anyway. We ran out of, like I say Thursday, we ran out of Reagan posters. We ran out of Palin posters. We ran out of socialism sucks posters. Actually, it's Obama's posters. We had a steady flow, and because people want jobs after they graduate. We need to keep improving, though. We need to keep improving the Tea Parties. And we need to keep continuing as activists. And if we fail to do the following things, the movement dies. How many of you read the newspaper and watch the news? Keep doing that. How many of you forward on legitimate emails that make sense? Right? How many of you talk to your neighbors? Right? Let's see here. How many of you push people to our side or push people to vote? Doing those things, we're going to keep people on our side, and it's going to improve our life. And if you have somebody who says to you, like we did, well, I don't really care about politics, you say, you better care about politics. Because it's not only your life, it's not only your future, it's your children's future, it's your grandchildren's future, and it's this country's future, and it's freedom's future. One of the things that we need to develop effectively, and being a business student, this is what everybody says, you got to develop an elevator pitch. You've got 30 seconds to say, why are you a conservative when you talk to somebody? 30 seconds, that's all you've got. And it's got to be more, well, government's out of control. Government's out of control. Government's spending too much. Let's say government is too large. They are hindering economic growth by causing uncertainty in the markets. See my chicken scratch, I can't always read. Uncertainty in the markets. Furthermore, Obamacare has added costs to employers, lowering demand for workers, and those employers who have 50 workers or more are spending less and hindering our good debt. I balance my finances, why can't the government? Right? Is that a good, is that why we're a Tea Party patriots? Is that why? You be more than talking points, and you talk about supply and demand, you talk about economics, you talk about why you think that way, you talk about the news. You're going to have more people rather than say Bush sucks. Bush did suck, Bush was okay, Obama sucks, but if you say more than that, people are going to believe you. By the way, corps pass on taxes, investors pass on bad debt, and Obama's policies are based on shaky correlations and no economic advisor. His economic advisor said the other day, if we raise the minimum wage, we're going to raise wages. Nobody believes that other than this guy. Who says that? If we increase the demand for jobs, we're going to increase wages. Everybody talks about economies of scale. I'm an econ major. I'm going to talk a little bit about this. There's certainly economies of scale, but the president doesn't understand they eventually diminish. Signing up 300 million people for government health care, eventually it's not going to save us any money. In fact, it's going to cost us more money. The uncertainty that this president's caused, the Dow was down last week, the S&P was down, the NASDAQ was flat, we've got 9.1% national unemployment, we've got 17% unemployment between 16 and 24. The Huffington Post is reporting 85% of college students who graduated last May and moved back to their parents, and we've lost 2.2 million jobs since Obama's become president. Exactly why we voted for him, right? We need to be the voice fighting against him, because if we don't stop, we're never going to win. So who's ready to keep going? How many of you read a newspaper article and say, that letter to the editor is really aggravating? Right? How many of you respond to it? Right? Respond! Tell the person you're not right. Send emails. Make your voice heard. How many of you are so frustrated at people going to the Capitol and saying, they're right, they're lefties? How many of you are frustrated at them going to the Capitol? Then why aren't you going? I was there. Let's go. Let's go to school board meeting. Let's go to city councils. Let's make our voice heard. Let's drown out the lefties once and for all, because they're not the majority, they're the minority. We know this from the recall elections. We know this from Scott Walker's races, and we know this from David Prosper's races. We're the majority. Let's make our voice heard.